Welcome to Canadian Football League Weekly, presented by the World of Football. Each week we recap the games played up north in the CFL, and we also look ahead to next week's games. Our mission here is to educate American football fans on the teams and players in the CFL in the hopes that they'll come to love this league as much as we do. I'm Randy Snow, and I'm joined by my son Adam.
Hello, everybody. What a weekend of playoff action once again.
Yeah.
And Grey Cup set.
Yep. I don't want to ruin
very
things,
excited.
but I'm just going to let you know which one of the teams is might be there, might not be.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get right into the scores from the two games played this past weekend in the divisional round of the CFL playoffs, the divisional final round of the CFL playoffs. In the East Final on Saturday, it was the Toronto Argonauts taking on the Montreal Alouettes. In the first quarter, a pass from Montreal quarterback Cody Fajardo went off the hands of Walter Fletcher and was intercepted by Benji Franklin, who returned it 23 yards for a touchdown and a 7-0 Toronto lead. In the second quarter, Fajardo connected with Keon Julian Grant on an 8-yard touchdown pass, and Montreal took a 13-7 lead. But just before halftime, Janarian Grant returned a punt 71 yards for a touchdown, but the Argos still trailed 16-14. After a fumble recovery by Toronto, the Argos had one more chance to score before halftime. Chad Kelly found DeMonte Coxie in the end zone as time expired, giving Toronto a 21-16 lead going into halftime. In the fourth quarter, Fajardo found Austin Mack in the end zone. A two-point conversion failed, and Montreal still trailed 27-22. With 2 minutes left in the game, Montreal's Walter Fletcher scored on a 22-yard touchdown pass to bring Montreal to within 2 points of Toronto. But a two-point conversion pass was intercepted by Benji Franklin. Toronto was then able to run out the clock on the Alouettes, winning the game 30-28. Toronto quarterback Chad Kelly completed 11 of 22 passes for 182 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Backup quarterback Nick Arbuckle completed 5 of 8 passes for 73 yards. Running back Kadeem Carey ran the ball 12 times for 92 yards, and wide receiver DeMonte Coxie led the receivers with 5 catches for 105 yards and a touchdown. For Montreal, quarterback Cody Fajardo completed 27 of 42 passes for 330 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He also ran 8 times for 49 yards. Running back Walter Fletcher ran the ball 8 times for 69 yards and also had 2 catches for 31 yards and a touchdown. Wide receiver Keon Julian Grant had 7 catches for 93 yards and a touchdown. All right, here's my game notes from this game. What a great win this was for Toronto. Toronto was 16-2 last year when they lost to Montreal in the division final game. So that's a bit of a revenge for Toronto. This is going to be the 25th Grey Cup game appearance in Argonauts history. They are 18-6 all time in Grey Cup games. Their last Grey Cup loss was way back in 1987 to Edmonton. Quarterback Chad Kelly broke his leg in the third quarter and was replaced by Nick Arbuckle. Kelly will miss the Grey Cup and will be out 6 to 9 months. That's the last thing I heard. That's pretty bad.
That was something, when you do the highlights and recap and everything, that was a moment that kind of gets glossed over. That was a real big momentum swing when that happened. It was very emotional on that Argos sideline. You hate to see that happen, but the team got it done in the end. But you could just feel Montreal did make it a game. They came back. That seemed to kind of push momentum their way there for much of the end of the game till Toronto finally buckled down and kind of ran it out. But you hate to see that. Kelly, despite the issues he had to start the year, he started playing really good. And to have this happen to him, it sucks. But, you're still in the championship game and you still got a game to play. So that's next man up. Arbuckle starting. See how he does.
Yeah, well, Kelly was suspended for the first 9 games of the season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
He had a bit of a slow start, but, he came on towards the end. He was doing really well. And he got tackled when he was trying to scramble, and the player landed on his leg. And at first he got up and he was kind of grabbing his leg. He was standing up, grabbing his lower leg, and then he went down, and they had to take him off the field, and yeah, it was awful to see. But Nick Arbuckle came in, and he did everything he needed to do. He completed passes, like on a second down when they needed to make a first down to keep control of the ball. He did it. He completed the passes. So he did everything he was supposed to do as a backup quarterback. So yeah, we'll see how he does in the Grey Cup as the starter. My last note from this game was that Montreal committed 6 turnovers in the game, 4 fumbles and 2 interceptions. Man, it's tough to win when you have that many turnovers.
It is very tough, but I mean, they almost found a way to pull it off despite all that stuff. I mean, they're a really good team. They were the best team record wise in the league all year, but unbeatable they were not. We saw the flaws. We saw that they could be beaten, and we were saying, or I was saying that look, Toronto already went into Montreal once this season and beat them there. They did it again. So we'll see next year. Montreal still be a heck of a team to keep an eye out for.
Yes, exactly.
All right, moving on to the Western Final. The Saskatchewan Roughriders traveled to Winnipeg to take on the Blue Bombers. In the first half, Kenny Lawler scored on a 31-yard touchdown catch from quarterback Zach Collaros. Lawler also scored a second touchdown on a 24-yard catch, and Winnipeg found themselves up 14-0. In the second quarter, Nick Dembski had a touchdown reception, and Winnipeg then turned their lead into a 24-9 lead at halftime. In the third quarter, Saskatchewan's A.J. Ouellette ran the ball over from the 1, making the score 24-16 in favor of the Blue Bombers. Kenny Lawler then scored his third touchdown of the game on a 57-yard touchdown catch and run to give Winnipeg a 31-16 lead. In the fourth quarter, Brady Oliveira scored on a 3-yard touchdown run, extending the Winnipeg lead to 38-16. Saskatchewan's Samuel Emelis scored on a 19-yard catch and run with 23 seconds left, but it was not enough as Winnipeg wins this one 38-22 to go back to the Grey Cup. Winnipeg quarterback Zach Collaros completed 19 of 26 passes for 301 yards and 4 touchdowns. Running back Brady Oliveira ran the ball 20 times for 119 yards and a touchdown. Wide receiver Kenny Lawler had 4 catches for 177 yards and 3 touchdowns. On the Saskatchewan side of things, quarterback Trevor Harris completed 25 of 44 passes for 283 yards and a touchdown. Running back A.J. Ouellette carried the ball 10 times for 51 yards and a touchdown. And wide receiver Keon Schaefer-Baker led the receivers with 12 catches for 162 yards. So yeah, the 5th straight Grey Cup for Winnipeg is unbelievable. They started off, we talked about it last week, we've been talking about it for weeks now. They started off 0-4. They were 2-6 at one point. And now here they are in the Grey Cup for the 5th straight time. This team is resilient. This team always finds a way. And they should be considered the favorite probably in this Grey Cup.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to go back and talk about was, which one was it? I'm looking here. Kenny Lawler. Yeah, he only had 4 catches. 4 catches, only. 177 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That means 3 out of his 4 catches were touchdown catches in that game. That is an amazing
Pretty impressive. That's why they're the favorite. He's quite the weapon. Collaros is heck of a quarterback, and that team's humming. What can we say? That team has got a mission. They have been disappointed in their last couple of Grey Cup trips.
Right.
So I don't think they want to lose 3 straight.
No. Well, Winnipeg did lose to Toronto 2 years ago in the 2022 Grey Cup by the score of 24-23 by a single point. I remember watching that game. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, this should be one heck of a matchup. So let's talk about that matchup. The 111th Grey Cup next weekend. Toronto Argonauts with a 12-8 record going up against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers with a 12-7 record. That's going to be on Sunday, November 17th at BC Place in Vancouver, British Columbia. In the U.S., you'll be able to watch this game on CBS Sportsnet. I have confirmed it. It is going to be on TV. I've already looked it up. So this is it's going to be a great matchup. The team that's been there 5 times and the team that beat them 2 years ago. This is going to be very exciting.
Yeah, it should be a wonderful game. My question is going to come down to, and the biggest, to give Toronto any chance, it's going to come down to that quarterback position. Is Arbuckle going to be able to handle starting in the Grey Cup? Yeah, he's filled in some spots early on in the year, but also remember Cameron Dukes was the quarterback also. So he split time with Cameron Dukes at a couple points. So he beat out Cameron Dukes eventually for the second stringish job. And so I don't know. Maybe Toronto goes with both guys during the game. You run a 2-quarterback system. It's going to be hard to make up for the loss of Chad Kelly, but you got to find a way. They got heck of receivers on their end. But Winnipeg, they went on an 8-game tear this year. They were dead in the water to start the year, and what have they done? Nothing but just showing how determined they are, as we mentioned. They don't want to lose 3 straight Grey Cups, and here they are. You could see it in that team, that the fire that team and those fans have. I don't want to make a prediction, but I would just say right now, I would say Winnipeg is the heavy favorite right now. I mean, Montreal could still make this a game. Don't get me wrong; it could still be a heck of a game. But I think it's going to come down to the quarterback play. Can Caleros keep playing like he is and finding Kenny Lawler? Or can Toronto's Nick Arbuckle surprise us and put up a performance to keep Toronto in this game and even maybe win it?
Yeah, I have faith in Nick Arbuckle. I think he can do it. I think he's a better choice than who's the other guy there?
Cameron Dukes.
Cameron Dukes. Yeah, I think Nick Arbuckle can get the job done. I really do. So I'm just really looking forward to a great game. I'm sure it's going to be a great game, and hopefully the Argos win. But a great game would be awesome one way or the other.
Hey, exactly. I will not cry if the Argos lose. I mean, as long as it's a great game. Give me a close game, comes down to the end or something, back and forth, electric plays, make it one to be remembered, especially since the World of Football will be in attendance. So, but hey, an Argos win I'd like another hat to go with this one. 2024 champs to go with the 2022 champs. It'd be pretty nice.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else before we close out this show?
I don't. A quick show this week. Next week, the show will probably be slightly different. We're going to try to record something after the game next week and try to get that up in a fashion. Hard to say. I don't know if I'm going to bring my computer to Canada, how that's all going to work, if we're going to wait till we get back stateside, put something up. But we'll also have a travel log, so we're going to take a lot of video. Don't worry, there's not going to be any shortage of Grey Cup content from the world of football. I can assure you that. We're even toying with maybe, depending on how our trip goes, maybe daily vlogs or something like that. See what kind of shenanigans Randy and Adam can find themselves in Canada. What kind of people we meet up with in Canada. I mean, who knows? The world will be our oyster in Canada. You're not ready for the world of football.
You got that right. All right. That's all we've got for this week. We've really enjoyed bringing you the highlights and coverage of a very entertaining CFL season this year. And we're already looking forward to the 2025 season. The CFL website, if you're interested, is cfl.ca. If you want to learn more about the league, its teams, and its great history. So remember, some people may love football more than we do, but nobody, and I mean nobody, loves more football than Adam and I sitting here in Kalamazoo. And we can prove it because we have got the gear. Right there. We are ready to go.
You didn't warn me about this one, folks.
I know. We're ready to go. And until next time, I'm Randy Snow.
And I'm Adam Snow.
And look for us on TV at the game. No, we're not going to be running around on the field, but we're going to be there in the stadium. So look for us somewhere around the 55-yard line.
There it is. That's the slogan.